everybody. This is Chris M. Walker from Legiit here. And today I'm here with Jason Rubio. And Jason is one of our premier customers here on Legiit. And he's been kind enough to join us today to tell us a little bit about what he does and how he's used the platform to help him with that. How's it going, Jason?
Good, Chris. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I've met with you before. I think one-on-one we had a meeting at one point talking about SEO and all things related to that. It's good to see you again. And, I've been a customer of Legiit for a good while now. And I was actually doing my taxes not too long ago and realized just how much I spend on SEO. I was like, man, it's a lot, but it's well worth it.
Yeah.
And I would say the majority of what I spend is going to be with Legiit. A lot of the investment I make because it works. I have a entertainment business that I run primarily based in Austin, but we serve all over Texas, and I'm adding more locations as we speak. Just added a couple of California locations, and doing that, and one in Sedona just the other day. And so we're really expanding, and my goal is to do across the U.S. And to be honest, SEO is a huge part of that. There's absolutely no way I would have ever thought about it if it wasn't for what I've learned through SEO and the impact of it. And I just noticed I started getting inquiries from pretty much all over the US. And I was like, how are these people finding me? And so I was like, wow, there's something to this and it's working. And people would be like, hey, can you do an event for us tomorrow? It's like, where are you located? We're in LA. I'm like, really? So I was like, wow.
No, I can't, but I wish I could.
Yeah, I mean, I can, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. But you do it. But so we, that made me realize that, hey, it's time to expand, and Legiit is definitely going to be a big part of that and what we're doing here.
That makes me very happy to hear. So you've mostly used SEO services then?
Pretty much SEO in terms of, links are a big part of that. I have done even some packages with you and your services in the past. And I got your audit tool. I also have that. And, that helps with on-page as well. And so there's just a ton of things. And to be honest, I was learning all about it for a few years, and I took your course that you guys used to offer. I think you still offer it now, but it was free at one point a few years ago. And I dove into that and learned a lot. And to be honest, all the websites I've started, I follow that same formula that I learned back then with you guys, and, where to start. And it's my process every time. And proud to say that all of my websites are ranking on page one.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing that we see a lot of customers not have success by doing is just buying a bunch of random services and not having a plan.
Yes.
And then just kind of like, I use the analogy that it's like Chinese restaurant menu, because you'll pick one of those and one of those and one of those, and that's your meal. And then it doesn't work, and they either blame the service or they blame the platform. But the ideal way to do that is to have a plan or an SOP that you follow, and then just plug in the services to let the talented people do the work for you. That sounds like what you do, right?
Yeah. I do the same thing every time, from the beginning to the end. And, I just keep plugging away until I start to see some success. And, I've found that once you're doing pretty well with your site, it's very easy to rank other pages as you start them.
Yeah.
And so that's been a great thing for me.
So you have more than one site for your business?
I do have the DJ site, and then I also have a marquee letter rental business that I started out of need. I realized, like, man, these people, are always booking this service. Why don't I start a separate site for just that? And so we're on page one for both, and it's great. So
that's awesome.
I'll email both, and I'll price one higher than the other, and so either way we win. It's pretty
that's smart. That's something that a lot of people don't think of. Like, they just have the one site and they don't try to dominate their whole industry that way.
Yeah.
Not to get off topic, but I think it's a lot of business owners don't think like entrepreneurs enough. I think they think like business owners who just want to run and operate. You're clever like that, you can really dominate whole industries.
Yeah, absolutely. But and I have other sites that I do for kind of stuff that's related, and they're all doing well. And then of course I mentioned, we talked about my wife's site at one point, and her site's still doing well as well. And she's doing great, man. She's clearing over $1 million a year in sales. Wow. And, a lot of this is due to SEO.
That's fantastic. That's really great to hear.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any particular vendors or services that you like or that you use regularly?
Man, I hate to say it because I'm like, man, are my competitors listening? But, I think for the on-page I do myself, I'm using some of the tools that you guys have. And then I do use your services as well. And then I think, is it Serp House, I believe, is Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
I've used a lot of his. And there's someone, can't remember the name off the top of my head, but great links. I bought, and I look at your weekly emails and about the different services. And a few months ago, you plugged one of them, and I said, let me try this, and because it was the PBN one that you ranked with that guy.
Oh, you're talking about Rank Right.
Yes. Yeah. And I bought some links from him, and man, they made a huge difference immediately within a few weeks. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, I use him like for Legiit itself.
Yeah.
Like, I use my own product. That's one of the ones that I use myself. So.
Yeah. And so, some of his have been amazing and made all the difference. And so, I've gone through a lot of different ones, but I found the ones that I like and that I see are making a difference.
Let me ask you that then. How do you go about figuring out what does work for you?
Well, I start to see, I look at the data, right? Where am I right now? And as opposed to where I want to be. And I will start to analyze the content and figure out, okay, what's not the content that's on my site. The on page is good. I may start to add more content related around whatever topics. And I've noticed that as I've done that recently, it helps improve the entire site. And so I did that. And then I said, okay, I've got the content now, time for links. And I noticed that instead of linking to the service pages, I link to the content that links to the service pages. Okay. And that really helps a lot. And, if something happens for whatever reason, to that content, it's better than something happening to that service page.
Right. You can just remove that blog post.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
So there's a good little strategy for people watching is to make blog posts that link to your service page and then link to the blog post with backlinks. So that's cool. Absolutely. And how do you figure out as you're looking for a particular link or service, how do you decide who you end up using?
I think just over time and the experience, of course, I'm going to look at the reviews,
sure.
Look at the reviews and how recent they are. And I'll go back through all of the pages and just look at, common themes. And I notice if I hate the ones that just say great job. It's like, no, please put a little more than that. And so I read the ones that are longer that are saying exactly what happened. Oh, after a few weeks, I noticed this happened, or man, this helped. I'll start to look for those guys, right? And so I see, okay, let me try this person out. And, sometimes it's hit or miss, but the ones that are hit, I keep track of those guys. And I'm like, I'm going to keep working with these guys.
And anything you want to, your business, you want to let us know what it is. If people need a DJ or whatever it is you do, how would they find you?
Yeah. So it's under the name Austin's Best DJs and Photo Booths. And it's not because I think we're the best. I just happened before I even learned about SEO, I was thinking about Google. And I thought, what would people type in if they were looking for a DJ? And that's the name I came up with. It's plain, it's easy to remember. And we win a lot of the time when people are looking for best DJ in Austin, right? And so that's kind of a great thing. But yeah, Austin's Best DJs and Photo Booths is what we do. We're all over Texas and expanding. It's kind of weird to expand the business name Austin, but we're doing it anyway. I thought
just pretend like that's your name.
Yeah, true. I thought about buying a new domain and trying it. I was like, you know what, that's gonna be too much work. So I'm just gonna keep it at Austin. But yeah, Austin's Best DJs, and we're all over, and we travel anywhere. We've gone all over the US and all over the world.
Do you do weddings and parties or
all of that? Most of our business is going to be a lot of company events too, all year round. People have company events, conferences, things like that. So and we do a lot more than just DJs, to be honest.
Awesome. Well, I won't keep you any longer. Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up?
No, just thanks for, having a great platform. And it's literally one of the best platforms I've ever used. And I continue to use it to this day because it works.
That makes me very happy to hear. We've put a lot of effort and a lot of money and a lot of time into doing that. So I'm glad it's paying off for businesses, which is who we really want to help. I think that's missing in the industry. I think most freelance type sites are focused on, I always end up making the same example, but on videos of the guy that looks like Jesus singing happy birthday. That's what is popular on another site that counsel advised me not to name.
Yeah.
But, so, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously there's a niche for that, but we want to work with businesses. So when I hear that from a business owner who's not even necessarily in a marketing or SEO type of role, I mean, even though you are for yourself, but for your own business, that's really what I love to hear. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a great day.
All right. You too.